They left their families. They left their occupations. They left what they knew. And they followed him. And they followed him. And these are the first of what we then call the disciples. And that's not a word, that's unfortunately not a word that we hear a lot in the Lutheran Church, and we should, because it's a Bible word. And I'm not sure why that is. I think sometimes we're kind of afraid of that word because it's used today in so many circumstances where we hear about, somebody's a disciple of some evil leader or something like that. Or we think of it as somebody who's maybe just kind of a little off kilter. But we are called to be disciples. We are called to be believers. But we're called also to take the next step and to be a disciple, to be a follower of Jesus Christ. And in the work that we've been doing with men in the last few years, we have struggled to really know what that means to be a disciple of Jesus Christ and to talk to other people about it. Well, this morning I would say to you that I believe there's 3 steps to being a disciple. One is the one that's most often thought of. A disciple is someone who sits under a teacher. Well, that's exactly right. That's learning. Learning and hearing is a big part of that, of being a disciple, absolutely. Jesus was the teacher, the rabbi, those around him, more than the 12 that we hear about. There was many women too, but more than the 12 that we hear about, they were his disciples, they were learners, they were hearing. That's step 1. Step 2 is a disciple is one who follows. Who follows. They left everything and followed so that they could experience along with Jesus, so that they could hear from Jesus as they were living life together, so that they could get to know Jesus in his everyday life. I like to think that Doris and I lead a pretty simple life until we're talking about hoping to sell our house maybe in a year, and the realtor says the first thing you need to do is just clean everything out. And I realized there are boxes in the basement that were boxes when we moved them in there, when we moved in, and they're still there, and they've never been opened, but there's precious stuff in them, And I just get to looking, we have more stuff than we need to do, then I know what to do with. And then I think of our friends, I've mentioned them before, our friends in Utah. He was a pastor, and they're in their mid-50s. We were at their home a few years ago, and I thought, now, they're at the place, the kids are out, the bills are getting paid. Now is the time in your life, in your mid-50s, you could start thinking about the easing up in the years ahead, going to retirement, and be comfortable. And I noticed that their house was just as cluttered, if not more cluttered, than ours. And I would say that if they were here, good friends. But then they said, we have a call. And we're going to China. We're in our mid-50s, and we've had careers, and we're going to China. And within a year, that really stuffed house was down to 4 suitcases. And on the way to China. They left everything. And went to China and had a successful ministry there, a trying ministry, a dangerous ministry, absolutely. But what an example. Well, Jesus probably isn't calling you today to leave your occupation, to leave your home, to leave your family, to go down to 4 suitcases, although he could. But Jesus does constantly call you to come along into what new uncharted territory that you may have not been before. Maybe there's that person that Jesus would like you to connect with, that you haven't connected to before. Maybe it's a situation, maybe it's a ministry in the community or in the church or somewhere that you really haven't thought about before. And here's Jesus kind of poking and prodding you along. Come along, follow. And so part of being a disciple, yes, is to learn. Big part. Part is to follow and to see where Jesus is going to take you and where you're going to be with Jesus. But finally, to imitate. Imitate. This morning at the early service, we sang that old hymn, Holy, Holy, Holy. Every time I sing that hymn, I still hear my grandmother's high-pitched grandmotherly voice singing it in my ear. I won't imitate her. But it's a comforting feeling. But it makes me remember Grandma. She was one of the greatest storytellers that I've ever seen. And I would love her stories because when she would tell her stories, she would become the character that she was telling me. The sound of her voice, the expressions, the ways of that person, and it was absolutely engaging. And if you're going to imitate, you know what that person believes, you know how that person responds, you know what that person's personality is like, you know that person. And so the third step is a disciple is one who is called to imitate. Who do we imitate? Jesus. Who do we follow? Jesus. Who do we learn from? Jesus. That's what being a disciple is all about. And I would encourage you this morning as we open up these prayer stations, think about where you're at in your life. Are you willing to take the step to be a learner? Come on up and pray. Are you willing to take the step to be a follower? Come on up and pray. Are you willing to take the step to be an imitator of Christ and all that that means? To be a disciple of Christ? Come up and just receive the blessing and be confident in the Holy Spirit in prayer. Even before I was thinking about this sermon, I was listening to a podcast one day of an evangelical pastor who said something that I think really relates to baptism, even though that would be the last thing he would think about, because he'd be baptizing adults. And he said, discipleship is, when you become a disciple, you spend the rest of your life learning. You spend the rest of your life learning to be what you became. In baptism, God claimed you. I used to work with a pastor who, every time he baptized a child, he said, in baptism today, God has said yes to this person. In baptism, God said yes to you. And what this preacher is saying, the rest of the disciple's life is unpacking and discovering what else God has up for you every step of the way. As a learner, as a gatherer, as an imitator, as a disciple of Christ, as one who walks with him. Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you that you accept us for where we are in our boats, and then you call us from the shoreline to follow you into an adventurous, exciting life, into a life that makes sense because you are with us. We pray, Lord, that you would help us to step out as learners, as followers, as imitators, as disciples. Help us to step out, Lord, into the calling that you've given in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen.